Maybe what we can do kind of winding down this conversation is I think that maybe speak to something that I think is swirling around in people's minds of like, did I invest in the wrong network? Should I sell my HBAR? Are the wheels falling off? What is going on? What would you say to those people that I think over the last few weeks that maybe have become like really disenfranchised about this stuff, maybe fallen out of love in a way with Hedera, maybe feel a little lost. Maybe they're like, I don't even know where I fit into this thing anymore. I've been holding HBAR and it's just going down. What is going on? Like my parents are asking how their crypto portfolio is doing. And like, what would you say to those people that are just kind of like in the all hope is lost mindset?
If all this stuff happening is making you think I should sell now, you're an idiot. That's what I would say. Because this is the part where people know all the garbage that's been happening. This is the part where people are having conversations on how to fix things. This is the productive part, right? You should have sold when nobody was talking about this, but all this bad stuff was happening behind the scenes and nobody knew about it. This is not the time to sell, right? Not at all. Because they may pretend like they're not listening. They may pretend like they're not paying attention, but they are. They have to be. And it's not just me. Other people are having these conversations too. It's not just me, this random weird guy who LARPs as a bald man with a speech impediment in his spare time saying these things. The words that are coming out of my mouth are coming from you guys. It's this zeitgeist, right? I'm not a genius. It's just we're all feeling it. We can all feel it. Unless they're completely tuned out, the people in Hedera, Swirl, all the different organizations, whatever, they can feel it too.
Yeah.
This is not the time to sell. This is the time to get your hands in that soup because you can enact change. We're enacting change right now just by having this conversation. You can do it. Just get plugged in, right? Get active, get engaged. Use that energy in a productive way. And things are going to get better. It's not going to be easy. There's a lot of things like systemically that were set up incorrectly. But people will try to tell you this. They'll try to say there's nothing that can be done. Nope, we can't do that because of this. That's not a thing, right? That's not a thing. There's no company bylaws that can not be changed. Maybe it's hard. Maybe it takes a lot of people. Maybe it takes a big initiative. Maybe it takes everybody getting scared enough by the community freaking out to get on the same page. I don't know. But things can change. And more importantly, they are going to change. They are going to change. Things are going to get better. Don't sell. Relax a little bit. If you are planning to hold your HBAR and do nothing, go ahead and sell. I don't really care about you because you're not important. And you've made it clear that your opinion doesn't matter because you're going to hold or not hold whatever. Anyway, you're not impacting the network at all. For the people who care, don't sell, stick it in, dig in, and we're going to show this world some crazy shit.
Grab that potato. I think that's the best way to think about it. And for me, I guess my final thought on this is like, there, like for people familiar with like the VC world and kind of like the A16Z and the Y Combinator stuff. The founder of Y Combinator, Paul Graham, he wrote an essay and he had a great quote in it where he said, this industry works like a train, right? The technology train, and it leaves the station at regular intervals. That's just the way it's always worked. And what he says is that the situation normally functions like stuff just gets really bad, especially when there's recessions or inflation or whatever it might be, maybe macro factors, whatever it is. Before the train leaves, people kind of start getting off the train because they're scared and they start cowering in a corner. And the opportunity therein lies when the train leaves, like you might end up with a car all to yourself if you stay on the train. That's the risk. If we talk about risk and reward, this is the risk part. This is the tough part. This is the, people go buy the fear, all this kind of stuff. Like this is the moment now. And it's really just up to your risk tolerance. It's like, you've got a crypto network that's pummeled by macro factors, just as every other network, and is going through an identity crisis as other networks have done before, now's your time to place your bets. Like, this is the time now. And I know where I'm placing my bets. And I think that HBAR is great because it's the, protocol token to make things happen on the network. But there are so many other cool things that you can buy that make money to buy more HBAR. Like, there are, like we talked about Brady earlier on the show with borrowing and lending. It's like, what happens if you take borrowing and lending away from the US economy? It dies. You have to have these things. And so I think that what I would say to people that are just like so disillusioned and just like, I got to give up on this thing, it's going nowhere. What I would say is, what you're experiencing is a vacuum, right? There's a vacuum right now. And if you're a founder, if you're someone with ideas, there's a lot of benefit to starting to build something in a bad economy or a bad market. There's a lot of opportunity there. And I mean, Lehman himself talks about this. He talks about the .com crash and all those things that happen. It's baked into the DNA of this network. There's also a component to me of like, we kind of just have to get back to some of those original things. Cause some of those do, like, if like we can poo-poo Hedera and the governing council and stuff all day, but there are some core values here that we can rely upon. The concept of like shared worlds, the concept of, multi-planetary nodes, all these different types of things. It's like the new president of Hedera, Charles, is talking about. Think bigger. Like when you feel the smallest, that's really the time to think as big as possible. And so that's what I'd say to people right now is, if that feeling you're feeling, that's the anxiety of like freedom. That's the anxiety of like possibility. That's the unknown. That's what it feels like when an era ends for something. There's something new that's going to happen that maybe is unfamiliar and strange, but that's where the opportunity lies. Like, if you can stick it out, those are the people that get rewarded and get called lucky. And every network has had this moment. Every single network has had this moment, and the networks that have managed to retain that. And I guess this is where the ball lies in Hedera's court is, what are you going to do to retain this talent, this community, this energy? What are you going to do to keep this engine going? And from what I see, flipping to the positive side, is I see a governing council over the last year that's gone, I don't know if we have the best plan. I think we got to switch some stuff up. And I think a year is a very fair time period for a strategy to be outlined for a new direction. Like, that's totally fair. So I think that a lot of people are putting a lot of their hopes in Charles. I think that he can take the pressure. Although it was unfortunate to see, I don't know if you noticed this, but the BlackRock stuff, when he was like, a little bit of FUD, oh, it's nothing. I used to get death threats at the Federal Reserve, and then he tweets out a couple of weeks ago, like, guys, I'm getting death threats. I was like,
getting them again.
Yeah, I was like, oh, geez. But yeah, I think that we, on the community side, we really gotta, maybe we are the soup. We are the soup. We're waiting for someone to reach out and grab our potato.
Yeah, grab my potatoes.
Yeah.
Just get a handful. I may sound negative, but mostly it's because I actually love this network and the people on it, like, a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like, a lot. But also, and this is true, I've never been more bullish on Hedera than these past 3 weeks.
Yep.
And that's a fact. I've never been more bullish on Hedera than these past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And there's reasons for that.
Yeah. And I'm the same too. And I think that both, it's like, you and I both have lots of conversations with different people. And also, just what I'll actually do real quick. This is a great way to kind of wind down this conversation, but I think that people might see us up here and like, God, these guys are going absolutely ballistic, and I have no idea what they're doing.
I can't help it.
But there was this great clip from the HBAR Bulls show of Rob Allen, who is on the governing council, and he touches on this stuff, and I think this is an important clip. So let's watch this real quick, and I think this is a great way to kind of hammer this home. And again, this is somebody on the governing council.
I think that the next 6 months will have a bit of a reset across Hedera. I think we're at that point now where there is a lot of will and intent to ensure that we are fit. So, whatever that looks like, I believe that there is a real desire to ensure that the organizations that are partners within the Hedera ecosystem are fit for purpose for that. And that means kind of the governance and the ecosystem development and the engineering, all kind of making sure that it's super lean and super ready to really drive into this kind of next 12 or 18 months, which are likely to be an exciting ride. So we'll see that. I really, really hope that the community is engaged fully, that we're all pulling together, that we have the right principles, the right Web3 principles embedded in all that we do. I think that's essential, critical for the health of the Hedera ecosystem, which means listening to the community. It means building the developer community. It means transparency, and all the things that we kind of been hearing about recently, but have been hearing about for many, many years. So, hearing and listening are different things, and we absolutely need to listen to all those voices. I think we've only got those 6 months really to get that right. Probably a deeper answer than the questioner intended, or maybe not. But that my personal view is that we're at that point where we have to kind of inflect into what Mance actually called Hedera 2.0 when we were in New York. This is the new phase of Hedera. There are many things happening. There's quite a lot of friction because of it. And it's the time to now make sure that this ecosystem is fit to be to continue to be the best in class in all that we do.
Where are the meeting minutes? So anyways, like the meeting minutes are late or whatever, but I mean, like if the conversations on the show today and then seeing that clip of Rob Allen like doesn't show people that like this is just literally a fact, that these are things that have to happen, it's like you got to strap in. It does it like Rob Allen literally references Mance in New York saying Hedera 2.0. Like that is the definition of beginning a new era. Right? That like in software development, you've got, something dot something dot something. That first digit is something called a breaking change, right? That means that something has to break. It's like a muscle. You got to break it down to rebuild. It's like we are breaking down right now. And I think we can all feel it. But that's part of it. Like that's really part of it. It's the potato breaking down in the soup. It's all becoming something delicious, hopefully. And it's just a matter of time before someone reaches in and grabs potato. But that's it. That's what it is about on my mind, is just accepting realities. And it's like, if someone doesn't understand that a literal governing council member saying these exact same things, if at that point they don't go, maybe there's something to this retail thing, I don't know, like you're fucked at that point. you gotta just floor it and get out of here. You're not gonna like what's next, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, Jake, like I very much appreciate you stopping by, and in all seriousness, like your insights and dedication to the community is like so important. I don't know what we do without you, and what you're doing with the Growth Project and everything like that. I mean, the definition of dedication is coming on this show and doing the Growth voice for over an hour and a half. Like that's what it really boils down to. It's the small stuff. It's the little guy. Those are the things. It's the details. Those are the things that are going to bring the network forward. So really, really appreciate you, man, and everything you do in the ecosystem.
No, I mean, and same to you. I love the show. Of course I love being on it. And, yeah, it's not just two wackos saying a bunch of stuff they don't know anything about. Okay. You know, I don't know how much legitimacy I bring to the table, but you know, we got Rob there backing us up.
Exactly.
And you know, let's make that soup.
Let's do it. Hell yeah. Let's do it. All right.
Don't
well,
wear gloves.
No gloves. We're raw dogging that soup.
We're raw dogging it. We're gonna get all sorts of arm hair in there.
Jesus. Okay, man. I again super appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day, and then I'm gonna try to get through a couple other news stories here. Take care, man.